All right, everyone, get ready because today we're taking a deep dive into a paper that's like the Marie Kondo of machine learning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it totally transformed how we deal with information, especially in language AI.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
It is, but we're talking about attention is all you need. The 2017 paper that introduced the world to the transformer model.
Hmm?
And trust me, this isn't just another algorithm.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
This is the brains behind the stuff you use every single day, like ChatGPT.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean.
So before we go any further and decode the magic of the transformer, let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
How were computers even handling something as complex as language before this game changer came along?
Well, imagine trying to understand a symphony
Okay.
by listening to each instrument separately.
Oh, like one after the other.
One after another, exactly. You might pick up some melodies here and there,
Right, right.
but the overall harmony, the richness would be totally lost.
Yeah, it would sound pretty jumbled.
And that's kind of how traditional recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, approached language. They
Mhm.
processed information sequentially, word by word,
Word by word.
which created a bottleneck.
Okay, so like trying to appreciate the epicness of Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah.
but only one note at a time.
Exactly. RNNs really struggled to grasp long-range dependencies in language,
Mm,
those connections between words or phrases that are far apart in a sentence,
I see.
but crucial for understanding.
Okay, I'm starting to see the problem here. It's like trying to understand a joke where the punchline is a paragraph later.
Right.
So how did the transformer come in and save the day?
Well, the transformer basically said, what if, instead of listening to the instruments one by one, we listened to the whole orchestra at once?
Whoa.
It shifted the focus from sequential processing to parallel processing,
Hmm.
using this revolutionary thing called attention.
Attention.
Yeah.
Like how I'm laser focused on understanding this right
Oh,
now.
you got it. Just like we naturally focus on certain parts of a conversation or a text, the transformer learns to weigh the importance of different words in relation to others,
Great.
no matter where they are in the sequence.
So instead of getting bogged down in every single word, the transformer can see the whole forest of meaning all at once.
Yeah, it's a whole different way of thinking about it.
It's pretty mind-blowing, but let's zoom in on this whole attention thing because that seems to be the heart of the matter here.
Right.
How does it actually work?
Okay, so picture this. You're reading a news article. You're not giving equal weight to every single word, right?
No way, especially if I'm trying to skim it quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the keywords, the headline, the juicy parts that stand out.
Exactly, I just want the highlights.
And that's what the transformer does. It figures out which words or parts of the input are the most important in relation to the others.
Interesting.
It's like highlighting the key phrases in that news article, but the transformer does it automatically, learning from tons and tons of data.
Oh, wow. So it's finding the connections, the aha moments that actually make language meaningful.
Yeah, you could say that.
But the paper also uses this term self-attention.
Right.
Is that like next level attention or what?
It's a key part of how the transformer works.
Mm-hmm.
Its magic self-attention basically means the model is comparing words within the same sentence or sequence
Okay.
to understand their relationships better. It's like when you're trying to solve a riddle
I love riddles.
and you keep replaying the clues in your head looking for those hidden connections.
So it's like the transformer is having a conversation with itself, figuring out how each word plays off the others.
In a way, yeah.
I'm starting to see why this was such a big deal when it came out, but the paper isn't all talk, right? It backs up these claims with some pretty compelling evidence.
Oh, absolutely. Table 2 in the paper is where things get really interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
They put the transformer head-to-head with the previous state-of-the-art models in machine translation, and the results are kind of mind-blowing.
Okay, so did it just win by a nose, or did it leave the competition in the dust?
We're talking about shattering records here. Before the transformer, a BLEU score, that's a way to measure how good a translation is above 40, was considered exceptional.
Wow.
The transformer blew past that, achieving scores that were unheard of at the time.
It's like showing up to a horse and buggy race with a Ferrari.
It was a total paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
The transformer's performance proved that attention wasn't just a cool idea, it was a fundamentally better way to process language.
And I'm guessing this sent shockwaves through the AI community.
Oh, absolutely. People were stunned. This paper wasn't just incrementally better, it was a complete game changer. It was like the moment everyone realized smartphones weren't just fancy phones, but the future of, well, everything.
Okay, so we've established that the transformer is a rock star. But what's the secret sauce? I'm dying to peek under the hood here.
Sure.
Luckily, the paper actually dives into the nitty-gritty of the Transformers architecture. Okay, so the paper lays out the Transformers architecture, and I gotta say, seeing words like multi-head attention and feed-forward networks kind of makes me feel like I'm looking at the schematics for a time machine.
It's definitely complex. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But even without getting lost in the weeds, there are some key takeaways that even non-engineers like yourself can appreciate.
All right, hit me with your best shot. What's the most mind-blowing thing about how the Transformers put together?
Well, remember how we talked about self-attention
Yeah.
and how the transformer can see the whole sentence at once?
Right, like it's reading the whole thing at the same time.
Well, multi-head attention takes that to a whole new level.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So self-attention wasn't impressive enough on its own.
It's like this. Imagine you're trying to understand a painting. You might focus on the colors,
Okay.
the composition, the emotions it evokes.
Right.
Multi-head attention is like having multiple perspectives on that painting all at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Each head focuses on different aspects of the input, allowing for a richer, more nuanced understanding.
So it's not just seeing the forest, it's like appreciating each tree, the leaves, the way the light filters through the branches all at the same time.
Exactly. It allows a transformer to grasp subtleties that would be lost on a single-minded model. It's one of the reasons why these models are so good at capturing things like tone, sarcasm, even humor in language.
That's wild. But I'm also noticing something kind of interesting in the paper. It seems like even with all this complexity, the Transformer still benefits from surprisingly simple strategies like something called dropout.
Right.
What's that all about? It sounds kind of casual for something so groundbreaking.
You'd be surprised how effective a little bit of randomness can be in machine learning. During training, dropout essentially means randomly ignoring certain data points or connections.
So it's like telling the Transformer to close its eyes every now and then and just go with its gut.
In a way, yes.
Huh.
It might seem counterintuitive, but forcing the model to cope with missing information prevents it from becoming too reliant on any single data point.
It's like making sure the Transformer doesn't get too attached to any one idea and stays open to other possibilities. I like it. This paper has given us a lot to think about. We've gone from struggling to understand sentences to AI that can write poetry, translate languages on the fly, and even generate realistic images from text prompts, all thanks to this one elegant idea: attention.
It's really quite remarkable.
Yeah.
And as groundbreaking as the Transformer has been, I think we're still just scratching the surface of its potential. Remember how we talked about how RNNs were like listening to a symphony, one instrument at a time?
Yeah.
The Transformer lets us experience the whole orchestra, but what about the conductor, the audience, the emotions they all share?
Whoa, you're blowing my mind here. So you're saying there are even deeper layers of meaning and context that we haven't even begun to explore with AI?
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't just about bigger models and more data. It's about deeper understanding, about replicating not just what we say, but how we think and feel. And who knows? Maybe the key to unlocking that next level of intelligence is hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to pay attention.
I think that's the perfect note to end on. What a fascinating paper. Thanks so much for breaking this down with me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.